Hello. So we got another playthrough here. We're calling this one, I believe we're gonna go with Namira's Nomad. The idea is two-handed, um, two-handed battle staffs only, elemental magic, because alteration now has elemental magic as well as destruction. I'm gonna use the wind magic there too. Um, Eventually we're gonna go Namira with the beggar's outfit and use enchanting there too. So we're gonna use a lot of enchanting, alteration, two-handed, destruction, evasion. That'll probably be the core of the build. So I'm recording in post for various reasons. I don't know if I'm gonna do that the whole time, but I'm doing it right now. So let's get into it. So we go battle staff, of course. I was considering the Julianos, but it's 18 tokens, which is just too much. So we'll go for I believe we go, yeah, 3 fur pieces and then the apprentice or novice hood, one of the two, which is usually what I recommend if you're ever going to do a spell sword build is you want these two. You usually want to go hood. Hood is almost always worth it, either using the starting choices like I am or just finding one or buying one, because helmets are not, like if you're going to play spell sword, you don't get enough value out of wearing a helmet versus a hood, my opinion. So So to start off for blessings, we're actually going to go Julianos because Namira has nothing of value if you don't have her ring for the most part. So you're kind of just taking a huge nerf to not get any value at all. So we go Mage Julianos. We're going to stay Mage, but we're going to switch Julianos to Namira as soon as we get her ring, and then we'll be playing the rest of the game on Namira. Um, Obviously, first point of evasion is always useful because you get the weapon materials. Um, Yeah, build's going to start with alteration. I know I just played an alteration two-handed. Well, on my last playthrough, I mean, just was almost a year ago, but I want to do new stuff with alteration though, because they have the new telekinetic earth spells and as well as just straight telekinetic. So I'm going to stick with the telekinetic earth spells just because it's kind of, I figure if we're going to be like a nomad druid kind of character, it's going to be earth and wind basically. I was considering doing spirit summons as well, but I also just played a summon build and it nerfs your magicka regen, so you can't really like use summons and offensive magic unless you have a really big mana pool, which I don't think we're going to have a huge mana pool in this character because I'm going to try to use ranged spells and melee kind of like equally. I was also debating like absorbing grasp. Honestly, all of the novice alteration spells are really good. So I debated using two-handed unperked for a while because you only get 10% from the first perk, but there's not really anything else I want at level 1 because I don't want both destruction and alteration at level 1 unless I was going to go like robes as well. But mage armor is kind of eternally useful. Oh, and I should mention the race I went Bosmer. Um, because we're going to go Namira and Bosmer are already cannibals, so kind of just fits the theme. And plus Bosmer are like nomadic wood elves, so well, they're not all nomadic, but so in case you guys are wondering why I took vegetable soup, I took it exclusively for this fight, and then because it's pretty cheap in starting choices, I think it's only 5 tokens, and I didn't really have anything else I wanted to buy. This is telekinetic sand, which is turning out to be one of my favorite novice spells, as you guys will clearly see why pretty soon here. But I'm also extremely rusty, so. But yeah, I also don't have a lot of health on this build right away, so I have to play extremely carefully. Like a two-handed power attack guaranteed will kill me. There's no way I survive it. I was hoping to get a stagger there and I didn't, because basically its earth spells do mediocre damage, but they don't take a lot of magicka, but they have a chance to stagger or knock down, and then they take a little bit of magicka and some stamina. Since we're going to have a lot of stamina on this character later, they'll kind of work there. I kind of just took a power attack there for no reason. But that's okay. That's what we have stuff for. That's why we buy potions. And I'm kind of just kiting, letting my magicka come back a little bit, seeing if I can get anybody to attack, but bandits in this run so far seem to be very turtley. As you can see, they still haven't attacked. It's been like a full minute and none of them have attacked. And this is also why I personally change bandits to not be able to block like 99% of damage like they are normally in jtweaks, because I want to be able to, like, if they're just going to turtle, I want to be able to do something other than like hope that they attack or like dance in and out. I think looks really silly. But either way, it's an evasion two-handed, so it's going to be a lot of kiting. See, right there I made a mistake. I should have continued hitting the orc because he probably would have gone down. My bandits are also starting to run out of stamina in like every fight though, so it's kind of weird. But I mean, I would have killed these guys anyways, but it's kind of... Yeah, and then she has bashing perks. She almost wiped out my stamina with 2 bashes, which is crazy. And did like almost 30 HP damage to me just from bashes, which is insane. But we're immediately going to switch to Strange Meat, which is half the reason to play Bosmer, honestly. So for those of you that don't know, jtweaks changes Strange Meat to be different depending on the enemy it's from. They all do different things. And I don't know them all off the top of my head, nor did it look like it said reduces the damage you take to your stamina and magicka when you get hit. Orc, I believe, just makes you do more melee damage. The Imperial one, which is the one I ate, makes you take less stamina when you power attack. I keep the hood just in case I want to. I considered just not using the apprentice hood just because I can cast mage armor as it is, so I probably don't need the 42. But like I said before, helmet versus hood, if you're going to be a like a battle mage or a spell sword, it is almost always worth it to just have the hood. I'm surprised Tarlsgar, whatever his name is, didn't get involved. I think maybe his aggro's changed, which is good because he would have like soloed all 3 of them. So I really like these. I want to do a build around these kind of robes because they have 12% physical damage reduction, which is the equivalent of having 120 armor, and they're completely weightless, which means you can use them with the uh, the mage armor perk. And then I realized that I didn't actually loot the camp, I just killed the bandits, so. I still think this is a little bit strong for a starting area, but I kind of wanted to just try out the build. Normally I like to actually not start here because I think it's a little easy and the loot is crazy because you can kill 3 bandits and get a treasure chest. And then you can do Embershard, which is reasonably challenging but has good loot too. And then you kind of walk out of Riverwood with a lot of good stuff, but it is what it is. I mean, obviously there's much more exploitable areas anyways, but I like to start somewhere that has a little bit more challenge typically. But I wasn't really sure how like two-handed light armor was going to play, especially without without like a stamina birth sign. But I turned off auto looting gold there because I actually think it's more disruptive for the gold to constantly like pop up on the screen that is being looted than to actually physically loot it, but that might just be me. I know a lot of people like to have the game auto loot gold and even like alchemy ingredients, which to me, I like the actual process of like running around picking up ingredients and stuff like that. It makes it feel more like an RPG. I was considering waiting for my magicka to come all the way back. So there you see a big part of my build planning there was it doesn't just stagger them, it has a small chance to knock them down too. So if I knock them down, I get a free hit because the battle staff is fast. The recordings are probably only going to have like ingredients that I find incidentally. I'll probably be making potions off screen, and I'm still going to make poisons and potions because I believe Bosmer can do it for free. So, like I said when I was playing Argonian before, if you have the ability to do it for free, there's never a reason not to. Because the poisons aren't like that strong. It's just nice to have like free damage early. Because the whole idea for using battle staffs too is it doesn't just fit the theme. They I take a big hit there again. Uh, they also they attack fast and they have better enchantments with the new battle staff perks. So, you have to enchant anyways if you're gonna use the beggar's outfit because you need to make up for the fact that you're not wearing any armor. So I figure I might as well enchant a staff too, and then the swing speed helps with using your enchantment. So it'll also help having poisons too. But yeah, got to knock down. Um, I can't really tell because I don't have a lot of experience using magic if this would be something that would be considered a little bit too strong where it can basically knock bandits down for a free hit. But what I see is that it doesn't actually do that much damage though. So it seems more like an offensive utility spell. Yeah, my spacing was pretty bad there, so I ended up eating that, but at least I blocked it, unlike the earlier hit. But I have a poultice going, so not a big deal. Now, once again, consider putting on the leather hood because I'm already taking a lot of damage from these hits, but magic is kind of precious right now. And it's especially going to be when I get the perk in alchemy that alteration that lets me empower, so I can use empowered mage armor. Because then it'll last like 10 minutes, I think, or something. so I can actually like get my magicka bar back in between fights. Yeah, I am at 356 armor without a helmet, so that's kind of my argument. With a helmet would only bring me up to like 390, which is only like 4% more damage protection versus having 42 magicka. I think the argument's pretty clear. I go over here because I thought there was alchemy ingredients over here, but I believe there's literally nothing. Oh, and this episode essentially is going to be that outside bandit camp, Embershard, and the chest. I haven't decided if I'm going to do this run Dead is Dead yet or not. Probably not, but I'll still follow my rule of if I die, I restart the recording, so you guys won't see the deaths anyways, most likely. And the only reason I sneak here is because sometimes if the two guys hear you when they first come out, it'll trigger the third guy too, and I just didn't feel like fighting all three. Well, they saw me right away anyways. But it ended up not aggroing the third guy, which is what I wanted. See, that was actually risky there because he was close enough to hit me. If I didn't get that knockdown, he might have actually hit me with that mace. I also think he looks like Ron the Crow, which is pretty funny. Now, as you've probably heard, if any of you have watched my other videos, you know that I'm actually not a big fan of pulling bandits out here. I considered changing it to where bandits don't, or where enemies don't follow you outside. And I know the original argument for that was that they didn't want you to be able to leave, heal up, come back, fight, leave, heal, come back, and fight. But I think it's actually easier to. I think that's actually less broken than bringing enemies outside because you just have basically infinite space to work with. And if I really cared to, I could kite them all the way to the town guards, and basically I would just never have to fight anything. But I'm just not confident in my ability to kite them around Embershard. There I just get hit for not really a good reason. But this is why we take potions. I don't know what they were doing here, but I figured I'll just take the free kill if you're going to hand it to me. Oh, and as you can see, the telekinetic sand casting time is longer than other novice spells too, so that's another weakness it has. The wood on wood sounds really funny. See that? I don't know if that would have killed me. If I hadn't staggered him out of the power attack, that might have killed me already. That would have been run ending, or at least episode ending. I've never seen wooden clubs before. They look really dumb to me. They just basically look like a smaller version of the Giants Club. Looks really, kind of looks out of place, in my opinion, but it is what it is. Also seems really bad, so it seems by like adding that to leveled lists, you're actually nerfing the bandits a little bit. But there might be something I'm missing about wooden weapons, I don't know. But that's the vast majority of the enemies already, so pretty straightforward. Kite, hit them with spells until you run out of magicka, then hit them with your stick till you run out of stamina, then rinse and repeat. At least until I get some more exciting stuff. Because the plan, I believe, is going to be alteration to 25 and then probably start working destruction. Although it would be nice to take evasion to 30 just to have the perk where your light armor doesn't affect your spell casting. Another guy with a club. It also looks really dumb because it's really short. Like, really short. But yeah, I mean, I have like 240 magicka, and dual casting telekinetic sand pretty much drains all of it. So I don't know. I feel like it's good, but really expensive. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, he's just not attacking. So I'd rather just beat on his shield then if he's not going to attack. Like, I don't really want to dance forward and backwards over and over and over again. I'd rather just hit him with my stick till he dies if he's going to stand there with his shield. Which is also a strategy for like HEMA and medieval times in general. They literally hit people's shields until their like arm broke. I get some pretty good stuff here. Staff of the Healing Hand is actually like sneaky good, because it's good for whatever the Dark Elf, I forgot what her name is, the one that helps you kill the dragon at the White Watch Tower. So that way, if she goes down, you just bring her back up. Trying to see if I can aggro just one person. But then that, of course, aggroes all three, which is another question I have. I have the boss bars enabled, which normally is not a big deal. It actually looks kind of cool to have a boss bar on your screen, kind of like a, Jedi Fallen Order or Dark Souls or anything like that. But what's really weird in Embershard in particular is all three bandits are, I guess, considered boss bandits, so you have all three health bars on your screen. I can't believe that didn't hit me. That's why I flickered my block there. That way I didn't get one shot. Which it might have still one-shot me because he's an orc. With the two-handed power attack typically is enough to one-shot most characters. Which is what I was thinking at this time. I was like, this orc will one-shot me if I'm not careful, so to be really careful. Yeah, see, I wasn't willing to capitalize on him being on the ground because I figured she might nuke me. And my mage armor was down, so I figured better safe than sorry it. Just run. As you can see, it has like almost a full second cast time, which is a long time in combat. See, that ended up not being worth it right there. I should have just waited, because he was low enough HP to where I could just kill him with my sand once my Magicka bar came back. And then she has some really weird movement here. Like she's like walking slow. It looks super weird, and she's not out of stamina. That's what the little bar below is. She is now, but she wasn't earlier when she was walking all weird, so I don't know what that was about. That was kind of really risky too, because I think her regular attack might have killed me. I also have like contextual UI where my UI will only pop up if I'm in combat, but sometimes it stays up until I leave the cell, even if the combat's over. So that's why I was checking that there. It doesn't work as well as it should. I had thought for some reason that the third bandit followed me, but it's the crossbow one that always stays there. I realized I didn't grab this Amanita, but I don't think Fly Amanita actually has that good of abilities. I remember it has resist fire. That's the only thing I remember from it. I think it's resist fire, fortify two-handed, something else. I was considering using my insights, but I was like, yeah, I'll just wait till the end. So here I have a weird thing happen. So I have a poultice up, but waiting a minute only heals me like 12, and I thought that's not normal. Like I remember being able to wait and a poultice heals you a lot more than that. So I think I end up reloading twice to check it, but I don't know if that's normal or there was some kind of bug or it is like considering me in combat. I don't know. Even though I can wait. So I don't really know what that's about, but I believe I try it one more time. Yeah, I was confirming my poultice is indeed up. So maybe that's normal. I don't know. Because I know Forn made it to where the poultice heals a teeny tiny bit um, in combat now. Just so that way, if you have a poultice up, you can force your bar to stay up. If you're using whatever mod it is that makes your health bar stay up if you're actively being healed. So that might be what was going on there. And I just figured, screw it, I'll use that potion I just found. Because with the gold that you get from Embershard, plus that bandit camp, plus the treasure chest, typically you can get a nice potion haul after that. Well, not a nice haul, but enough to buy like 2 or 3 potions to get you through the next dungeon. So this is going to be the extremely engaging anti-crossbow combat. But he's also an orc, so the crossbow will hit for a lot. It might actually kill me, I'm not sure. I don't think I end up getting hit by him at all. I did this on my other character because I was going to do a completely different build, and he had an elven crossbow, full elven armor, like he was pretty decked out, and an enchanted sword. Like I wore him out of bolts the same way, and then he fought me in melee combat, and he almost killed me one-on-one, and I was in heavy armor with just a sword. So I got much luckier rolls with bandits here. I haven't had any that are that scary. Of course, the downside of that is that they don't have good gear to take either, but this build isn't really gear dependent other than making the beggar's outfit once I can get Namira's ring, which I think I can do soon-ish. I just need a few resist potions for the Shouting Draugr, and that's probably it. I figure with probably with Apprentice Destruction and Apprentice Alteration, I can probably go and take it. So it'll only take me a couple episodes. I'll probably have like 3 episodes of being Julianos, and then be Namira for the rest of the run. Yeah, this guy was like not switching to his melee weapon. I'm not sure why, until I got this close. And I got 2 knockdowns. Or no, I got a stagger and a knockdown, I mean. And yeah, that was Embershard. And and the other thing I wanted to do is I wanted to force him to, the other reason I was willing to wait out all of his bolts instead of just tank one and then hit him with the stick to break it is I want to actually get a crossbow. But yeah, I have nowhere near the stats to break open a chest. And what I should have done, I realized at this point, is instead of taking evasion as one of my first perks, I should have actually, or instead of two-handed, instead of one of those 2 perks, I should have taken lockpicking. So I think level 2, I might actually take lockpicking. I'm not sure. And I just looked at this and I noticed that bread regenerates health now, which is wild. So I know there's like a whole snack system now where snacks give like short, decent buffs, and then food gives buffs, and then alcohol gives also buffs. And I guess there's like weak alcohol and strong alcohol, which weak alcohol you can take with food, strong alcohol you can't. Something like that. But I don't know. But that's Embershard, so we're going to just oh, and I have the grader system turned off because I'm just not a fan. I think the grader system's kind of clunky. Like I get the point where it's to get you to do harder content, but to me it's really strange to just have two different insight points that you need to keep track of. It's like I'd rather just have them all feed into one. My solution for being forced to take on harder content is just take on harder content. Like I don't need the game to tell me I need to take on harder content, but I don't know. That's the self-control debate that's still ongoing. But yeah, so that'll probably be the next perk. If I don't take lockpicking, it'll be this one, which is to because being able to empower mage armor is a huge, huge deal. And then yeah, so we want 4 perks in alteration probably, and then oh, and I need to get my hands on a silver battle staff. As soon as I can get my hands on a silver battle staff, that'll probably be when I consider taking on the quest to get Namira's ring. Because if I recall correctly, it's basically just one jogger dungeon, and then you get her ring. I believe small tweaks makes the jogger there harder, but I mean, you still have somebody with you, so it still is like not that hard. Then I realized that my carry weight ran out. So the biggest challenge of being Bosmer is that they have the second lowest carry weight, but then you're lugging around all of this strange meat. A little bit of a hitbox issue there. I'm having a hitbox issue with my mushrooms in general, which I think is from the cathedral um, plants mod. I think it moves them. I'm not sure though. But either way, we're just going to see what's in the chest. Take some slaughterfish eggs for the lingering damage health, because I'm going to make potions in between episodes. So that's going to be my next. I'm going to sell some stuff, buy some potions, make some poisons and potions, and then I haven't decided what content I'm going to do next. It's obviously going to be bandit content. That's really all you can do at this level, but I might just do the regular Whiterun stuff. I'm not sure yet, but I will decide that by the next episode. So yeah, I'll show the level ups here, and then that's pretty much the end of the episode. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I will see you guys in the next one.